My name is Natalie. I have been working with ClassDojo since 2016, and the past 4 to 5 years, specifically working with principals, directors of schools, administrators, district leaders, and helping them learn about ClassDojo and how they can use it in their school community. So if you write into school leaders at ClassDojo.com, which I will say many times, you're going to write into me and my team. So today we're going to be talking about how to sign up and set up an account as a school leader, what that means, and how then you move forward with getting your directory set up or managing a directory that you may have adopted or already have, how to clean that up, how to add your teachers and students and connect families. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. And then we will go over some resources that we have created for you to help you in this process and some live Q&A at the end. This webinar is about an hour, a little under. We will share at the end of when the webinar is over, even if you can't stay for the whole thing and you have to go early, as long as you registered for the webinar, you'll receive a follow-up email from us with a recording of the webinar, yes, with your PD certificate, good for 1 hour of PD. With the decks, the slides that I'm using right now for the presentation, which includes live links to help desk articles with step-by-step how-tos, and what else? More links to resources that we have. So you'll be getting a treasure trove in the follow-up email with everything that you need. All right, so we'll be first talking about the benefits of using ClassDojo school-wide, and then how to get your school set up. All right, so why use ClassDojo school-wide? First of all, it's free, right? That's a really great reason these days. I know that there are a lot of other options out there, great options, but ClassDojo is committed to remaining free for teachers and schools. We do have an additional option for parents, a subscription called ClassDojo Plus, formerly Beyond School, but now it's called ClassDojo Plus, which allows parents to have additional premium features in their account. It's totally separate from their experience with the school. Parents still can have an account and connect to your classes in your school for free, but if they want to set up goals and awards points and skills at home and track behavior at home, if they want to give their child additional fun avatars and a little more of a robust student experience, then ClassDojo Plus is an option for them. All right, second is with our school story and our school directory, you create this school-wide community that's secure and safe. You have only parents and teachers connected to your school or at your school connected together in the school story. And with a click of a button, you can share announcements and events and videos and photos and all of the activity going on in your school with all the parents and teachers that are connected to your school. And they immediately get notified that you have shared this information with them and they have something new to see in their account. You also get to see some insights as to how many messages, how many memories have been shared, the positive percentage given to your students. And those are some cool stats to see as the school year progresses. With our messaging feature, you also get that personal way of communication. So teachers are able to communicate one-on-one with parents. They can message all parents at once that are in their class, or they can message a select number, and they do not have to give their private phone number out. They are also able to see when a parent has read their message and if the parent has translated the message into another language and what that language is. They can also send files and photos, and they can schedule messages to go out. We also have included a feature called quiet hours that teachers can set up. So during those quiet hours, they don't get notified of any new messages that come in. And parents are also aware when they go to message the teacher that the teacher's in quiet hours. With our portfolios feature, students can continue learning and stay engaged, whether they're at home or in your actual in-person learning. So this works for hybrid learning, or if you, for any reason, have to shift your plan this fall, student portfolios is there so that your teachers can still assign work and activities and projects to students, and they can respond within their account by taking photos, videos, creating drawings, writing journal entries, uploading files, and even recording their voice. You can also use the class story, which teachers can post to, and then any parent in that class is notified by posting check-ins or worksheets or lessons that you want to share with everyone in the class. Also, something to note that's new that we didn't have with last back to school with portfolios is our we had worksheets, but now you have the option to upload 10 pages to assign a worksheet. So we have multi-page upload, which was highly requested, and the team delivered. We also have this amazing worldwide community. As you can see on this webinar alone, we have people from all over the world, which is amazing. And everyone connects in our Facebook communities. You're able to see how active teachers using ClassDojo are and how busy they are and how creative and brilliant they are. Our teachers are constantly sharing resources, links, ideas, what worked, what didn't work, and it's just a wealth of knowledge. So definitely, if you're on Facebook, join those teacher, mentor, or school leader communities. Okay, so let's get into the school setup. We're going to go over 5 steps. Signing up and verification, what that means to be a school leader, how to add and remove teachers in your directory, how to add and remove students from your directory, how to then create classes and share classes, and then how to connect parents to those classes. All right, sign up and verification. So if you are a principal, assistant principal, maybe you are the tech leader at your school, you are an administrator, head teacher, director, anyone who is in that role of authority at your school, you will want to sign up for a school leader account. You'll also want to use your school email if you can, but school leader account then will let us know the role that you are in at your school. And that shows us that you have the authority to, nominate a mentor, to request that the mentor be changed, to request records from us, and to make changes to your school name or address or listing. All those things you can write into us and we can help you to update. If you signed up and you chose teacher as your role, you can, in your account settings, go into your account settings where you can change your email, and you can also update your account and change it to the role that you are actually in. So if you don't have a school email, you can still sign up and create your school leader account, but you will need to get verified, and you can get verified 2 ways. you can get verified by another mentor or school leader that is already verified at your school. They can see your request within their account and they can accept it, so that you are then, when you log in, you're connected also to the directory and the school story and all those school-wide features. If you do not have a mentor or another school leader at your school because you're getting set up for the first time, then you can reach out to us, my team, with an ID badge or a classroom newsletter, or just a link to your school's website showing you in your role, and we can confirm or verify your account. And what that means is you are confirmed in your role at your school. When your account is verified, then the little school icon that usually has a lock on it becomes unlocked. You're able to click into it and to use the school story to manage it and to edit your school directory. So when you first sign up, it may say something about you need a mentor. A mentor is a name for the role of that teacher. So the mentor role is traditionally a teacher at your school that is going to be the go-to person that all the other teachers go to for help and assistance and questions with their accounts and getting set up. Mentors, the mentor role can only be given or changed by our support team within our system. So if you need to nominate, add a mentor, change a mentor, just write into us and we can assist you with that. But the mentor role or the mentor teacher has all of the same capabilities as a school leader, in that they can edit and delete posts in your school story, and they can add teachers, remove teachers to the directory, and add students and remove students to the directory. So ideally, you have yourself in the school leader role and someone else, whether that be someone in your office staff or another teacher, or your technology person that can be the mentor and assist you in getting your school directory all set up for the fall. So when you are going through the sign up process, you're going to search our search for school function and look for your school listing in our system. Schools don't have accounts. Schools are a listing in our system, which includes the school name and the address. And then if you enter it, the domain, so the end part of your email. A lot of districts have, a domain that they use at the end for all employee emails, right? So if that domain is also in the listing, that's helpful info, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But that information is a school listing, and then teachers and school leaders create their accounts and they request to be connected to that listing. When they connect to that school, then they can all see each other and be connected within that school directory. If you are going to, you go to search for your school, but you don't see it in our system, then you can click add school and enter your school's info, and now it will be in our system, and you have now created a directory for you to connect to and for your teachers to connect to. One thing you can also, if you already have an account and at one school and you're changing schools, you can also change your school affiliation within your account very easily. And I will show you that towards the end when I give you a little tour of what a school leader account looks like. So once you are verified, you've created your account, you have verified your email. That's an important step. As soon as you sign up, you're going to get an email from us that we are asking you to verify that your email belongs to you. If you verify that your email is your email and you're using your school's email and your school listing includes the domain, and we see that they match, you'll automatically get verified and you won't have to write into us and wait for us to verify you. So that's awesome. Also, what was I going to say about that? I lost my train of thought. Once you are verified, then you'll have, oh yes, getting your email verified. That is an important step for school leaders. As a security measure, a school leader account can't really be unlocked to where you can use all the features unless you verify your email. So you want to make sure you verify your email. If for some reason you don't get the email verification email, you can write into us and let us know, and we'll help you and assist you. But you definitely need to verify your email, and then verifying your account confirms your role at your school. And once those two have been done, you're able to actually get into your directory and get your teachers on board. So in your directory, you'll be able to see 3 tabs: teachers, students, and classes. The first tab that says teachers is where you can click to invite teachers or staff to connect to your school. By clicking the plus sign, you can enter the teacher's email, and you can also assign them a role, or you can upload a list of teachers' emails. If you are getting started with ClassDojo and you don't have any staff in your directory yet, then you can enter 20 at a time if you need to. The important piece of this is that you are inviting the email that the teacher plans to use for their ClassDojo account. So if you're inviting teachers that already have ClassDojo accounts, you want to make sure you are using the exact email that they have used. Or if they don't have one yet, that you are going to send them an invite to the email that they do plan to use for their account. Sometimes teachers do use a personal email and they may not use their school email. And so thank you, Hannah. Hannah's here. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm going to add my colleague so that she can get busy answering all your questions in the Q&A. All right. Panelist, we're in business. Hannah, I'm making you host. And now, all right, Hannah's gonna be answering your questions in the Q&A. Thank you. So once you have added any of the new teachers you need to add to your directory, if you have teachers that are leaving your school or retiring, going to another school, then you'll want to remove them from your directory so they no longer have access to those school-wide features. And because they'll probably want to join another school and join their directory. So to do that, again, these blue links here in the slides lead to our step-by-step instructions of how to do all of these actions. But you're going to click right here next to the name is a little arrow. And when you click on that, you can remove the teacher account from your directory. Removing a teacher from your directory makes it so that in their account, the school now has a lock symbol and they cannot get into it. It does not actually remove them from the classes that they were added to as a co-teacher or the classes that they created themselves. So if you want a teacher has left and you need them to be removed from all of the classes at your school, you're going to want to make sure that the teachers that have added them, remove them as a co-teacher from their classes. And then that teacher, before they go, transfer ownership of their classes to you or to another teacher. That way they can be removed from those classes, and then their account is blank in that they don't have any class tiles that they can click into. They have now a shell of an account, and they can now move on to another school and connect to the other school and use their account somewhere else. If you have any questions about needing help transferring classes, just write into us at schoolleaders@classdojo.com, and we're happy to assist you with that. These are the screens for what you'll see when you go to invite or add staff right here. If for some reason your staff member is not getting the invite email, let us know. You can write into us and we can figure out what's going on. Sometimes a school can be listed twice. So if another teacher years ago was using ClassDojo at your school and they added your school to our system, but maybe the name or the address was slightly different, you might have two listings of your school in our system. And sometimes teachers will not know which one to join, and you'll have some of your staff connected to one and a few others connected to the second. So we can merge them very easily on our end so that you only have one school listing in our system and all of your staff are connected to the same one. And you can see all of them and who's in there. So if that's the case, just write to us and let us know and we can help you with that. Again, this is going over how to search for the school and how to change your school if you need to change. You'll also want to check in your account in the directory. You'll see if you have any join requests. So teachers can proactively on their own, if they don't wait for you to invite them, they can search for the school and request to join. And if they request to join, you'll see their join requests in your account to the right underneath the district domain and start end date info. And if you click no and you decline, then that email will not be able to request to join your school again. Clicking yes will actually verify them, and now they'll be able to access your school directory. Only mentors and school leaders have the ability to invite other teachers and to accept or deny requests to join your school. One thing I want to go over really quick before we move on to the students is this box right here. If you want to add a domain that's not listed, you write into us and let us know. If you need to change your district name, you can write into us and let us know, but you can edit on your own your start and end date. But this information, if you do not have a district listed, it does not affect the functionality of your account or your school directory in any way. It's just added information that we started to add districts into our system so that we can see where a lot of schools that use ClassDojo are geographically. And so it's more helpful information for us to know where schools are, but you don't have to have a district name listed. All right, now we're going to move to updating our school list. If you have a directory that already has students in it, then maybe you want to first remove students that are no longer at your school. There are two things you can, two actions you can take to do this. You can choose to graduate or remove students. I would say what I recommend is if you have students that have left your school, just simply remove them from your directory. If the student is leaving temporarily and you think that they will, they plan to return, then you can graduate them. Graduating students in your directory does two things. It moves them to the bottom of the list in your directory. It moves them under the graduated heading, and it makes them inactive. They cannot then be added to any new class, and their parents that are connected to them will no longer see any new school story posts from that point on. So it's like making them an inactive student, but they're still listed at the bottom of your directory. If you want to remove the student from your directory, then that simply does take their name off of the list, and then they're not going to be listed there anymore. I would recommend that you only have your teachers archive their classes, not graduate their classes. I would recommend the graduation feature only be used by you, the school leader, or your mentor in choosing which students you want to graduate in your directory, and have your teachers just archive their classes. Graduating a class archives the class, but graduates all of the students in the class. So if you accidentally graduate a class and you didn't mean to, or your teacher didn't mean to, you can undo the graduation of each student, but it has to be done individually. So and just make sure that you are sure that you want to do that, just because undoing it is a little bit more tedious. So removing students is pretty easy. You're just going to click on the student's name to see their little profile here, and then you're going to click remove the student from the school. All right. Now, removing the student from the school does not remove them from all of the classes that they were in, but there's not going to be much information in that class on that student after a year, because we only save feedback and points report data for 1 year, and then it's removed from our system. All right, so if you have multiple listings of the same student in your directory, because maybe one listing has their middle initial, or one listing has their full last name, and another listing just has the initial first letter of their last name, any kind of little difference can create a duplicate listing of that student. Another way that duplicate listings are created are when teachers are not verified yet. Maybe they have put in a request to you and they haven't, you haven't accepted it yet, and they are just so excited to start using ClassDojo, they create a class and they start adding students to the class. But since they are not connected to your directory, they can't see which students are in there to add to their class. So all the students they're creating are a second listing of that student. And when they get verified, they're going to want their students pushed into the directory. And that's just going to create a duplicate listing for their students. So in this case, we have a tool where you can merge those duplicate listings. If you have one listing of the student in the directory, so Alan Awesome here has been in a class or is in a class, and probably has a parent connected to him. This Alan was just added and is not in any class and does not have a parent connection, and therefore they can be merged into this Alan Awesome that will end up being the one that stays in your directory. If both of the listings of the student have been in classes, have been added already to classes, and have had parent connections, they can't be merged. So in that case, you'll just have to decide which listing of the student you want to keep and which one you're going to remove from your directory, so that you make sure that the same, in this case, Alan, is being added to his class, all of his classes. So for students that are in several classes, students can be added to as many classes as they need to be. So Alan could be in 3 classes. We want to make sure the same Alan is added to those classes and not different Allens in your directory into different classes. That makes it more complicated for the student on their end, because they're essentially going to be logging into 3 different accounts instead of just one account where they see all of their classes in that one account. So if you are needing to add new students to your directory, this can be done 2 ways. If you're in the situation where you're brand new and you don't have any students in your directory, then it'll be a good idea for you to upload a list, a whole school list, your school roster, into the directory. You can easily do this by, if you use a learning management system, let's say if you have an Excel, you can export an Excel spreadsheet of all the list of your students. And if you also have parent emails, you can add that in there too. And then you can copy and paste that into our student roster tool. Then that will automatically add all the students with their parent emails into the directory. And then from there, teachers are just gonna pull those students into their classes. And then those parents will automatically get an email that they've been connected and invited to their child's class. Makes it really easy on the parent end for them to get connected. If you already have students, let's see. Okay, so if you already have a lot of students in your directory and you just have a handful of new students that you're going to be adding to the directory, you can add them one by one into the directory, or you can allow your teachers to add them to their class manually, and then that will push the student into the directory if the teachers are verified. So important key note is to make sure your teachers are all verified. That means you see them in your directory before they roster their classes. If they are, then any new students they add to their class are automatically now viewed. You can view them in the directory and they'll be in there. Okay, let's go back. All right, so when you're creating and sharing classes, you as a school leader can create all of the classes for your teachers, and then you can share them with them, or you can have your teachers create their own classes and they share all their classes with you if you want to be connected to all the classes in your school. It's really up to you, and these are decisions that you can only choose to make, or only you and your staff can make and decide what's best for your situation. But when you create a class, you're going to be able to decide the name of the class, the grade of that class, and if you want to share no points with parents, all points, or just positive points. So also making sure that you're aligned on the type of points you will or will not be sharing across your staff. Helps parents not be confused if some parents see points and some parents don't. Pro tip when it comes to naming classes, naming or entering your name and your account, how to name activities. The more specific and the more detail you give, I think the better. Adding the grade, the room number, or the year in addition to your name to the classes that you create really will help you to keep your classes organized and to be able to navigate through them, because you cannot delete classes. So we work off an archival system. When you archive your classes, then they're hidden, but you can open that menu and see all of your archived classes. And if you've been using ClassDojo for years, you can have quite a few. And so being able to differentiate between the different classes, if you name them all Blue Room, then you can have like 10 blue rooms and you're not sure which one is from which year. And so adding the year and date and those things, especially to activities that you assign in portfolios, or even adding your role at the end of your name, then when you post or you are active in your account, so parents can see that you are Mrs. McClure, principal, or Mr. Green, assistant principal, and they'll better be able to identify who's who at your school. So once you have created your classes, you can decide, like I said, to share your classes or share those classes with other teachers, inviting them to be connected to that class as a co-teacher. A co-teacher has all of the same abilities as the teacher that has created the class. The teacher that creates the class is by default the admin of the class. There is no such thing. We get this question all the time from educators, from school leaders. I want to be the admin of my school. There is no such account that is an admin account, no such role as the admin of your school listing. There's only admin, or what we like to call owners of individual classes. And whoever creates that class is by default the owner of the class. And they are able to add teachers and remove teachers from the class. That is the only difference between a owner role in the class and co-teachers. Otherwise, you both have messaging channels with parents. The owner and all co-teachers can award skills and feedback to students, can see reports, can post to the class story, can post to the school story. What else? Can share events, all of that fun stuff. Can assign activities and post to students' portfolios. The only difference is the owner can determine who is connected to the class and who is not. That being said, if you create all the classes as a school leader and you want to transfer the ownership to the teacher that is actually teaching the class, you can easily do that here within your class settings. This screenshot is of the teacher tab in your class settings, and this is where you can see the co-teachers connected to your class, sorry, not school, class, and who you have invited, but you're waiting. So this teacher right here, connection pending, means they have not accepted my invite yet. You can see the other teachers at your school, and you can easily click here to invite them to be in the class with you. And if you click this little arrow to the right, I am able to remove that co-teacher or to make them the owner of the class. So this can be done really easily within your class settings. This is pretty much what I've already gone over. So once I have already shared my class with the co-teachers that I want to be connected to my class, then I'm able to add students to the class, and I'm a verified teacher. So that means when I start typing in a student's name, these names are going to appear. These are names of students in the directory. And so if I start typing in Ian, I'm going to find Ian in the directory. I'm going to click on him and add him to my class. If I'm adding a student that's not in the directory, then I'm going to click add and manually add that student to my class. But because I'm verified, that new student I'm adding will then get copied, so automatically get added to the directory, and then other teachers will be able to pull that student into their class. This goes over how to add new students to the class, step by step. So once I have all of my 10 students, let's say, added to my class, I want to connect their parents. If you have already put the parent's email in the directory, then when you add that student to your class, the parent will automatically connect to that class. In any class that student's added to, the parent will automatically see the activity in their account for that class. So parents can be connected to 4 classes if their students in 4 classes, and they can be connected to 5 of their kids. And if their kids are different schools, they'll be connected to 2 different schools then, and they'll see all the info for both the schools, for their different children, all in their one account, in their one story feed. So it's really easy for them to get to and to see everything going on at one time. Teachers, if you want to be the ones that are if your teachers want to be the ones that are connecting parents within the class, then there's several ways that they could do so. Once they have the students in the class, they can enter the parent's email or phone number to send an initial invitation to the parent to connect to the class. A parent still does need an email in order to create a parent account and connect it to your class. So entering a phone number and sending a text is only the way that the parent initially gets the invitation, and then they're going to follow that link or use that code to create their account, and using their email, they connect their account to the student in that class. So if you're going the route of an email or a text invite, or downloading the PDF codes with the P code, the parent code that the parent puts into their account, These 3 ways connect a parent specifically to that one student in the class. So they're only going to see all of the portfolio posts and points for that one student. If you're going to send a class invite, which is like a link that you can share with all parents in the class, then the parents on their end will be asked to enter their child's name. And that sends you, the teacher, a request from the parent to join or to connect to that student's name that they are entering. And you as the teacher have to then, or as the owner of the class, have to accept the request from the parent in order for that parent to connect. So you'll have to confirm, yep, I would like Dan Green to connect to Mary Green, and then that parent will be able to see all your class info. So I know that's a lot of information, but we have resources to help you digest it and make a plan with your staff or with your mentor, your school leader, to how to set this up and roll it out at your school. These are links right here to all of, in the zip folder, we have all these resources that allows you to, with your team, fill it out together and decide who's going to create classes, who's going to remove students, who's going to add the students to the directory, who's going to name the classes, or who's going to own each class, and how you'll be moving forward and setting up so everyone's on the same page. We got a checklist for you to make sure that you have crossed your T's, dotted your I's in getting set up, and a potential timeline that you can follow from here as we get closer to school starting if you haven't started yet. And then a link that you can click to schedule a one-on-one call with myself or one of my team members on the school leader team. If you need assistance in getting your directory set up or have questions as to how you should get set up, we're here to help you.